So welcome to CrossYoga Detox. It's a slow class in the sense that we'll be staying at least some breath in each pose, noticing how our body feels in these poses and trying to work the effect of the stretch and the strength in each pose. At the end, we'll have a lovely, I hope, meditation that will really get you relaxed. So stay tuned until the end. Detox flow. It's a lot about twisting, getting into our core, our digestive system. So a lot of bending and twisting and all that. So it's really good for your back as well. Now, as we're gonna sit, you find a probably nice seated position. If you feel like moving, instead of sitting and breathing, go to your down dog, all fours tabletop, and move instead of just sitting. Sometimes you can feel like you're in prison if you have to sit still and you just can't. So if it helps you concentrate on your breath and listen to what I'm saying, move on your mat, no problem. So if you want to sit still, close your eyes. And breathe out. Detoxing somewhat through our breath, exhaling used and tired air and energy. And breathe heavily out as many times as you need. And when you're done, find your calm, deep breath. Find that breath that almost forces you to relax your whole body. And just listen for a moment. Detoxing is very popular today. All sorts of cleansing things you can do or take. It's also been a practice throughout yoga where you cleanse the body, the nose, the eyes and stuff. And I think in all religion or worldview, there is this sense of us being in need of cleansing or in need of detoxing. In the biblical perspective, this is also an issue. The Bible calls it sin. Yoga might call it imbalance or broken energy. In Christianity, we call it sin, the things that is not love. The things that breaks our relationships to people around us. The things that make it so that we find it hard to love ourselves. Sin is the reason why we destroy the world with pollution and all sorts of stuff. And also what keeps us from being in harmony in relationship with God. So detoxing, cleansing ourselves in God's grace through Jesus Christ is what we're going to work with on our mat today. Body, soul, and mind. Now take your right hand to your left thigh, so turning your shoulders a bit to the side. Tall spine as you twist. And take your hands above your head like the sun, going up and going down. Left hand on your right thigh again, erecting your spine, turning shoulders. And try to do with the breath. Inhale as you move your hands up, and exhale as you find your twist. Inhale, hands up, and welcome to close your eyes and just move in a warming up way. And one last time to each side. I don't know how many repetitions you have done, but try to go for an even amount of twists on each side. Stretching out your legs when you're done, in the sense that you're having a micro bend in your knees, doing your windshields on the floor, moving your legs from side to side. And find tabletop. So hands down on your mat, and you might want to do a little bit of circulation with your wrists, or even folding your mat. Spread out your fingers and hands underneath your shoulders. And take a huge exhale as you move your spine towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale as you move the other way around. And again, with the pace of your breath, exhale as you squeeze your belly in. Inhale as you lift your chest. Continue with this, or do a little bit more advanced if you like. You can take your right leg behind your left hand out. And as you exhale, try to see if your knee and your elbow can reach, spine up. Inhale, hands out. Forward time on each side. Slowly, but going deep, going wide. And when you've done 4, go for the opposite side. Again, just do your cat-cow if you don't want to do this version with your knees and elbows. Lots of balance here, but a lot of, again, detoxing moves as we squeeze our digestive system together a little bit. Beautiful. Hands down on your mat, finding downward facing dog just for a moment. Hands to the front end of your mat, lifting up your hips, bending your knees. So just a little bit more of warming up what will typically be flow, inspired moves following our breaths. Walk your feet to the front end of your mat. Coming to your forward fold. Whatever you need and bending your knees, go for that.
Coming up to standing pose, slowly and gentle. Take your hands up, palms together towards the ceiling. Reaching forward, trying to keep your navel in as you reach forward. Coming down, hands somewhat towards the floor, releasing head towards the legs or the knees. Again, bending your knees, coming into a standing pose, high mountain as your hands grow towards the sky, palms meet, and just repeat what we did. Moving your hips back, bending forward until at some point you release and just go into a forward fold. Bending your knees, from there rounding your back, your spine. Move your hands up. And keep moving in this manner. The huge difference between all religions, when either we call it yoga philosophy, other religions, I don't want to mention any names, huge difference is that we don't earn our cleansing peace, or whatever you call it. We are giving it through grace, through Jesus Christ on the cross. So doing cleansing, detoxing practices as we are today is great for our bodies. It can help our bodies accept God's forgiveness, grace, but it's never working salvation. It's never how well I do it on the mat or how well I try to harmonize my inner energies. It's not that. It's all a gift. And maybe the last time you come forward, you bend forward, thinking in your mind, thank you, Jesus, for grace, cleansing me. Stand in your mountain pose. Gather your feet, gather your knees. Pretty important that it's all together. Coming into your chair pose. So hips back, knees and toes somewhat aligned. And good, moving into our twist. So prayer pose with your hands, palms a little bit towards each other so you engage your shoulders. And let's take our left elbow towards your right side. Or in between your knees if you want to have an easier version. Shoulders away from your ears. And stay here and breathe. See if you can lift your left leg. Now this is a little bit of a challenge, but see if you can still left elbow on your right knee. Take your left leg behind you so you get into a version of a lunge, still with a twist. Releasing hands, framing the foot. Take left knee down, maybe bending your mat if that's something you like. Scooching your buttocks back, maybe sitting on your heel if you have that preference, and going to forward fold over this leg, right leg. Again, bending front knee. Walking your hands to the front end of your mat, finding your plank. Either on your toes or on your knees, up to you. Either way, quads really engaged, abs in. Stay in your plank for a few breaths. Now slowly as you can, come down on your belly, elbows in by your ribs. You might say, toenails on the floor. Take your hands down by your side, palms facing up, and then lift your chest away from your mat. And lift your legs again also, unless you really feel like not doing that today. Breathing, lifting, getting warm everywhere. All right, take your hands down underneath your shoulders, toes down, child's pose. Get some distance in between our knees, forehead on the ground, and maybe palms facing up. Is there anything right now, detoxing, cleansing, that you need to be forgiven for? Something that you need to let go? Ask forgiveness for other people maybe. Oh God. Know that whatever you seek forgiveness for, forgiveness will be given to you. You are cleansed through the grace of Jesus Christ. Moving into downward facing dog again. Taking your time. Stretching your legs as much as possible, heels moving towards the mat. Finding some freedom. Move places where you can move and stretch in down dog. Walk to the front end of your mat. Feet and knees yet again together, chair pose. Prayer pose with your hands in front of your chest, thumbs somewhat into your middle of your chest, twisting. This time right hand or right elbow, it must be on your left leg or in between your legs for a mild twist. And try to stay here even though your legs might be tired and shaking a little bit.
And then right leg behind you, take it slowly. Keep your balance as you move your foot back. Woo. Hard to keep the balance. Try to lift, not lift your back foot, but lift your back heel. Straighten out the back leg as much as possible. Frame your foot with your hands. Right knee on the floor, moving your buttocks back, stretching out front leg, toes up. Exhale and forward fold. If you're pretty flexible, try to take your chin towards your knee. It will just give you a deeper stretch on your back. Again, bending your front knee. This time, stepping it to the front end of your mat. If you can't stay in your forward fold the length that I'm giving you around, just come up to a mountain pose instead. But try to go as long as you can into your forward fold. Hands down on the ground. Bend your knees if you need to, no problem. Is there anything holding you back? It can be envy or some sort of righteous feeling. You need to get even with people, or you need to have that too. Is there anything like that you need to surrender? Detox from. Bend your knees, and very slowly, as we have had our head down quite some time, move into your mountain pose. Take your hands behind you, grasp your hands, and take a hold of your underneath your hands here, or arms. Squeeze shoulder blades back and together, and go for a back bend. Doesn't have to be deep, but heart opening. Knowing that God forgives you. Cleansed and free. Doesn't mean it is easy, it isn't a struggle. But you can have a fresh start. Straight spine again. Half moon with a twist. Again, forward fold. Both fingers begins on the floor. Right leg lifts up and kicks back. You can do your ballerina foot or flexing your foot. That's completely up to you. Right leg is lifted, and we're gonna twist. We're gonna lift left hand. So kind of navel towards the inner thigh, not that you're reaching it. A bit of a challenge pose for many of us. But try to go with it.
cleansing yourself by sweating and breathing. Both hands down on the ground, lower down, right leg, turn your foot around, warrior two. Take your hands off your mat, horizontal arms, moving down, lowering down your hips, so you open up your hip. And try to relax your arms a little bit. It doesn't have to be like really tight and straight. If you're all cleansed, if you're all in harmony, if you're all made new, what will your arms look like? Maybe a little bit soft, maybe moving. Wide stand. So hands down on the floor, front leg, turn that around, or front foot, and point your toes a little bit inward. We're going to move into a twist, so maybe you don't want to go as wide as you can in your mat, but up to you. Make sure your buttocks doesn't move behind your legs or behind your heels, but are aligned with your heels. Right hand on the floor. This is the easier version. You can even have a block or something to elevate your hand a little bit. Now for a deeper twist, right hand, move towards the left foot. Maybe you take a hold of it and come into a forward fold as you kind of twist. One last breath. Let go, maybe release your feet a little bit. We're going to do the opposite side right away. So if anything hurts in your feet, just give them a little bit of a rest before we work the other side. So left hand on the ground, right hand up, or left hand move towards your right leg. Forehead pointing towards your leg or your knee. All right. Walk your hands to the front end of your mat. Both feet to the front end of your mat. It doesn't have to be pretty. Move around in your forward fold, whatever you need to. And then moving you to your mountain pose. Is there person that you might need to let go, in the sense of stop controlling them or getting them to do what you want? For us, it might be our husbands or boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, our kids, maybe our close friends that we try to control, or something like that we need to release.
If you need to sigh it out, welcome to make some noise on your mat. Stay here longer if you need to. It doesn't have to be that you have a lot of answers to my question. Maybe you're just coming out blank, and that's fine, no problem. Melt into your forward fold. This time, left legs move back. Try to see if you can have your hips closed so buttocks are somewhat aligned. Left leg lifted and right hand lifted if you want to go for the half moon with a twist. Always look at the ground if you feel like you're out of balance. Both fingers on the ground. Warrior 2, your left leg behind you. Turn your foot, toes pointing out. Take your bent in your front knee, hips underneath yourself, aligned with your heels, and go as low as you need to today. Maybe this time you turn your palms up. Maybe as an act of receiving the grace that is not a matter of how well I can cleanse myself or think happy thoughts or something like that. It's a matter of receiving. Believing in Jesus Christ and what He did on the cross for me and for you. Take both hands down. And this time, move yourself back, coming into a boat pose. So working our core a little bit. Easiest version of this is heels on the ground. And maybe you sit up a little bit tall, especially if you have back pain or back issues in any way. Take your palms together and then go from side to side like you're paddling a boat. Lift up, maybe with your inhale, and exhale, lean back. Inhale, lift your hands, and move back. Now lift your heels up off the ground if you want to do something else. One more time on each side. All right. Come into the seated pose. Plow, which means our legs above our head. If you have, again, neck issues, anything, this is your option. Don't go back. And when we go back, don't move your head. So if you want to see first what the plow pose is, have a look. Don't turn your head when you're down there. You might make a neck injury, so be mindful. So have a look. Coming down on your spine, on your back, lifting up your hips. Try to see if you can reach them somewhat over your shoulders. Bending your knees, this is your option. Or straighten out your legs. See if you can reach for the floor behind you. If not, no problem. This is your plow pose. So go for one another version of this. You might even take a hold of your lower spine if you need to. Relax your shoulders. Keep breathing.
Try to keep your eyes closed so you don't have the tendency of looking to the side as you're laying down here. If you want to go for your shoulder stand, just listen to my voice. Lift up your legs towards the sky. Try to go for a straight spine from your shoulders and up towards the sky. Hands might hold your spine or your lower back. And then bend your knees, coming down on your mat, on your spine, feet on the ground. Relax. Knees can point in towards each other. And as you're laying down here, listen to what the Message version says that David said in Psalm 51. Generous in love, God give grace. Huge in mercy, wipe out my bad record. Scrub away my guilt and soak my sins in your laundry. I know how bad I've been. My sins are staring me down. And a little bit later, God, make a fresh start in me. Shape a Genesis week from the chaos of my life. Don't throw me out with the trash or fail to breathe holiness in me. Bring me back from gray exile. Put a fresh wind in my sails. Not just detoxing to detox, but detoxing to get Genesis week from the chaos of your life. Now take your right knee towards your right armpit and straighten out your left leg. And maybe you move your bended knee a little bit in towards your spine, your abs. Move your hip. Mine is squeaking a little bit, my hip. And then switch, holding your left knee towards your left armpit. And letting go, or at least so much that you can take your left leg, cross it over your right, and then move into a spinal twist. So coming up on the side of your hip, so hips stacked above each other. And then take the shoulder you're not laying on, that arm out, your left arm out to the side, reach for the floor. If just the elbow can reach the floor, that's great. Let your nose point towards the sky. And breathe. Try to almost exaggerate your breath so your belly really expands as you inhale. And exhale. Back. Breathe a new beginning in. It is possible to get a new start.
every day, every morning. Switching sides, come back on your spine, take your time before you reach your left knee above, bending both knees, moving to the side. And again, breathe deep, long breaths. The weird thing is, I think that sometimes we think of God as the somewhat powerful or angry Lord sitting there condemning us of our sins. But actually, if you read the Bible, I think we are the ones, the humans are the one who carries the guilt much more than Jesus or God does. Because when we say, God, forgive me, cleanse me, detox my life, it is forgiven. But I tend to hold on, feel guilty instead of just receiving the grace and the freedom that actually is there for me and for other people. Resting pose, the time to reap the benefits of our efforts on the mat, relaxation and meditation. Feet out to the side, hands out, palms facing up. And make your body as heavy and soft as you possibly can. In your imagination, I will invite you to picture a painting. And you are the one that is painting. And the painting, big or small, whatever works for you, tells somewhat the story of your life. Not a timeline in that sense, but more picture what colors you would have on that picture. How messy is it? How beautiful is it? And go with your first instinct. What would the picture, the painting of your life look like right now? I don't know about you, but at least a big part of my painting will be
kind of messy and confused, ups and downs, not really that pretty. But then try to picture kind of a new image emerging on the painting there. God's forgiving sun shining from one edge of the image. So all the dark places are more or less faded away in beautiful white, golden, maybe even shiny colors. And as this sunshine, cleansing color moves on the whole painting, what is left is a beautiful painting. Maybe you already know what it is. Clear, simple, and most of all, beautiful. A fresh Genesis start from the chaos of our lives. And take that image, that painting with you. And whenever you think of God or being cleansed, detoxing, take that image instead of the other. God, I want to thank you for you detoxing me, for making a new start every day, every morning, every minute under your umbrella of grace. Amen.